Okay, hello and welcome to this little training. Today we're going to be talking about inquiries. I know this is something most photographers want more of, so we're going to dive a little bit into kind of like the best way to get inquiries, the methods that I use, and all that good stuff. So we'll just kind of like jump into it. So basically, how to get 1 to 2 dream inquiries per day with $10 ads is what we're chatting about today. I know ads can be a little bit scary, but I promise you that when you know what you're doing, ads are the biggest blessing you could ever have in your life. Because I've been on both sides of it. I've been the person who was scared of running ads, thought they were a waste of money, and to where I am now, where I'm like all in on ads, like they're amazing. So we're gonna walk that through a little bit, break it down, and show you kind of how I got there and all that good stuff. So yeah, we'll just kind of jump into this here. So you're ready to get more inquiries, but you don't even know where to begin. This is a story for so many photographers. It was my story as well. You're kind of at this point, you're like, hey, I need more inquiries to get more bookings, but like, how do I actually go about doing that? So maybe you're at a place where you're just like constantly chasing those inquiries, like wondering, like I said, when the next one would kind of come in so you could get another booking and make some more money. And then just like also constantly chasing those inquiries with Facebook groups, posting on Instagram, all that stuff can become so exhausting. So I've totally been there and I get it. So if that's where you are, that's totally awesome. You're in the right place. Another thing that happens a lot is you're changing your prices around, second guessing your work, wondering like, maybe you just suck at taking photos because why is no one inquiring? So that's where your brain kind of goes sometimes, which is no fun and it's not true, but it's totally understandable. The problem is chances are you've never found the real issue, because that was my case as well. Like I would constantly change my prices around, all this crazy stuff, but I never addressed the actual problem, which was way further down the line. So we're going to go into that a little bit. Before we get into it, here's a little quick overview of who I am. If you have not come across me yet, this is kind of our first time meeting. Hello, my name is Solana, and I am Google Ads expert. I've booked over 500,000 of packages with Google Ads. I do elopement specifically, so these were all elopement bookings. You don't have to be an elopement photographer to be here. Any niche is totally great. So yeah, I'm a full-time elopement photographer here in Banff, Alberta. So super fun, super cool. I also have a master's degree in digital marketing, so I do also have some, foundational knowledge of, marketing in general. So good person to learn from. And then lastly, I made over $328,000 my first year as an elopement photographer. It's actually more than that because I had a lot of bookings for the next year already that I just didn't have updated invoices yet per how I run my business. So it is more than that, but still an insane number for your first year as an elopement photographer. So that's a little bit about me. I'll kind of share a little bit more of my story throughout this, but I don't want to kind of go into that too much. Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to highlight the biggest issue that I see when it comes to not getting enough inquiries. So the biggest issue photographers seem to have is a lack of website traffic. So just for reference, you need to have a minimum of like 1,000 website views every single month if you want to be getting consistent inquiries. This is just kind of like the numbers, the math. So when you think about that and you go look at your website data, if you're under that, I've had people tell me that they have like 10 per month. This is just a big sign that, hey, your traffic is the problem of why you're not getting enough inquiries at this point. So that's the first thing there. And so many photographers don't realize this. So they don't actually address this real issue of why they're not getting booked. So they assume it's things like their prices and they'll go and change their price. Little do they know that their problem actually lies like way, way, way earlier in their funnel at the like very first point, which is website traffic, before people are even concerned about your price. It's like, we're not even close to that problem yet, but immediately photographers are over there fixing that problem. So that's the biggest problem that I see. So I just want to break down why I say 1,000 website visitors and just kind of break down a 6-figure business in general. So you have a little bit of an idea of like the numbers that you need to kind of be having to get, where you want to be. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an example. So let's say you wanted to book 25 weddings or elopements per year. Let's say that's the many times you want to work. So if you take 6 figures divided by 25, it makes it about like $4,000 per wedding or elopement package on average is what you'll need. So you'll want then, if this is your business, you'd want to make your lowest package $4,000 basically based on this. So 25 elopement is booking 25 elopements per year is an average of 2 per month. So number of elopements or weddings divided by 12 months equals the average elopement per month that you're going to need to do, which would be 2 in that sense. So this means if you're trying to do 2 elopements every month in bookings, that means you need to have about 4 to 8 inquiries per month to hit that goal, depending how good you are at your sales calls. This is like really good numbers. Ideally, we want to have more than that because it's totally possible. For reference, I get 1 to 2 inquiries per day. So do my students. So 4 to 8 is like really on the low end of things. So this is kind of like the industry average, so we can do way better than that. But to get 4 to 8 inquiries per month, you need to have roughly on average 400 to 800 website visitors per month, because your website is going to convert at 1%. And to check if your website is converting at 1%, you want to take your website visitors, divide it by your inquiries, and then by 100 to figure out your conversion rate on your website. So if it's less than 1%, that's a sign that your website is actually not converting very well and you need to fix your website. But if you are like getting, 10 or 100 visitors per month, that's a sign that your traffic is your issue for inquiries. So 2 biggest reasons why you're not getting inquiries: website traffic is the number 1. Secondly, is your website, is it converting? So this is how you can check. You can do this math with your own business right now if you want. Go look it up. You can typically find your website traffic in your like website hosting dashboard. This is usually a very common data that is tracked there, so you can go find it there and see what your issue is. Is it traffic? Is your issue your website's not converting? Then you'll have a better idea. So why do most photographers struggle with inquiries? Like, this is like one of the biggest, obviously, kind of, I already said it, issue that photographers have is they just don't have enough consistent inquiries. So number 1, your website does not convert. That's a big reason. So people land on your website and they leave, they don't inquire, they didn't like what they saw basically, and they leave. So that's a big reason. Secondly, using Instagram as a main source of inquiries. Instagram is so unpredictable. It's fine if you're using it with other marketing, but it should not be your number 1 marketing. It is not reliable and it is not consistent. We want consistency and we want to be reliable and running reliable businesses, or else it's going to be really hard to take it full time. And lastly, like I said before, not enough traffic. As simple as that. If you're having, monthly website visits that are like 200, 100 or 10 or even worse, it's just not enough traffic for those inquiries. So no matter how low your prices are, how good your work is, with those numbers you're not going to be getting those consistent inquiries that you want to be. So with that being said, what is working right now for consistent inquiries? And the easy answer is Google Ads, and I'm going to share with you why. So we'll kind of break down why I suggest Google Ads over other marketing and why I use it over other marketing as well. So first of all, Google Ads versus social media, basically. So Instagram, TikTok, that good stuff. When it comes to Instagram and TikTok, this is typically the people on it are scrolling for entertainment, just to kind of relax their brains. They're not really, looking to book or pay for things on the app. Like, it's more of a entertainment based platform. Google is more of a actively searching to book platform. When you go to Google, when you think about it yourself, you typically go to Google when you need something. You search it in, you get what you want. That's typically where you go if you need things. So that's why, first of all, Google is a better platform for that. Next thing would be Google Ads versus SEO, because you might be saying, well, why would I spend money on Google Ads when I could just work on my SEO and then not have to pay to show up in the search engine? Well, this is basically why. So SEO takes, 6 to 12 months at least, typically, and longer. And we just don't have time for that. Like, chances are, you needed inquiries like yesterday. You don't have time to wait 6 to 12 months to have money in your bank account. So that is why. And then ads, you can literally get inquiries starting tomorrow. When I launched my first ad, I booked my first $7,000 elopement 2 days later. So yeah, like, it's instant, and that's what we want to do. And then lastly, Google Ads versus like Pinterest and Meta Ads. So Meta Ads would be like your Instagram and your Facebook ads. So Pinterest is a great tool, but it's used more in the client process for inspiration. This is when they're kind of like saving things, not necessarily looking at who's taking the photos, but like getting an idea of what they like and their vibe. Sure, sometimes you might get, inquiries from there. It's a great place to market on as well, but it's more the inspirational stage. When it comes to Meta ads, so Facebook and Instagram, this is more like interruption marketing. So this is cold leads. So basically your ads are being shown to couples who aren't necessarily actively looking to book a photographer right now. So when you think about it, when you're scrolling on Instagram, let's say you're engaged and you're kind of looking for a photographer, but like not really at the point. So you could be, scrolling at 10 o'clock at night, just, having your snacks or whatever and watching your memes. And now you're getting advertised for wedding photographers, but you're not necessarily in the mind frame to book them or reach out to them. So basically your ad spend's being wasted. Or your ads can be shown to people literally not even ready to book a photographer yet for the next few years. So that is why I don't love Instagram and Facebook ads. People find so much success with it. Don't get me wrong. Like there's definitely a way to it to make it work. But when you think about it, you're targeting more cold leads of people who aren't necessarily ready to book you. So yeah, that's my take on that. And then Google, the reason why I like Google ads over those type of ads is you're getting really warm leads and ready to book buyers. So this basically means like people are actively ready to book you. So again, if you kind of go back into the client journey, like if you thought about it from your own perspective, you're looking for a photographer, whatever it is. Chances are you were on Instagram first, probably to get inspiration, figure out what kind of photography you like, other photographers, stuff like that. And then when you're ready to actually book a photographer, chances are you head to Google and type in location, niche, photographer, whatever it is. So like, let's say you want to have a wedding in, I don't know, Texas wedding photographer. That's what you're going to go to Google and search. It's just how we kind of work typically when it comes to looking for a service. Like I said before, when you need something, you typically go to Google, and that's basically what's happening. And because those people are ready to book, this also means that you get your ad spend back way faster. So like I said, I ran my first ad and 2 days later I booked a $7,000 elopement, and that's because this person was ready to actually book someone, whereas on Instagram it might not have been the case. So that's why I suggest Google Ads over everything else. And obviously all those other marketing methods work and they all have their own systems to it. But to me, Google Ads is just what makes sense. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for running Facebook or Instagram ads or Pinterest ads for that matter. I'm just going to tell you that Google Ads is a great way to find success fast. So I just want to talk a little bit about that kind of client journey here a little bit more so you can see it visually. So this is kind of like the power of intent and just why, Google Ads really wins there. So like I said, when people go to Google, they're typically, ready to book something or really serious about it. So this is the power of intent that Google Ads actually has. So this is kind of a little process that is kind of roughly how things can work. I kind of shared it a little bit. So number one, your couple's engaged. Yay, super fun. Secondly, then they probably go to Pinterest and Instagram, kind of scroll for things. And just for reference to, like, I'm kind of in this stage right now too. And this is exactly the process I'm going through. Like that's actually my engagement photo. So I got engaged and then I'm kind of in stage number 2 right now. I'm using Pinterest just to like get inspo, and same with Instagram as well. And then third step, they're ready to book. They're going to go to Google and type in what they want. So let's say they figured out in their inspiration stage that they wanted to elope in Alaska. So now they got the inspo. Now they're going to go to Google and type in Alaska elopement photographer. That's just how this works. Obviously, everyone's customer journey can be a little bit different, but this is a very, very typical one. And that's the one that we're targeting running Google Ads. So if you don't already know yet, so why Google Ads? So to recap, you are showing up right when couples are ready to book. That means money in your bank account way faster. Secondly, this one's super awesome. You're only paying when someone lands on your website, which is super amazing. Instagram and Facebook ads do not work that way. You're paying for people to click to your Instagram or to just view your ad is typically how that one works, if I got that right. So with Google, you're only paying when someone actually lands on your website, and if you have a great website, chances are that person that clicked on your website is going to convert into an inquiry, because you targeted them, your ideal client, and now your ideal client is on a website that is all about them. They're going to inquire. There's a higher percentage that's going to happen. So that's why it's super amazing. And you only pay for people coming there, which is super cool. Secondly, you're only targeting people that are interested in the locations that you shoot at, which is another awesome thing that Instagram and Facebook does not allow you to do. So you can literally target people only searching for, weddings in said location, elopements in said locations, whatever it is. And that's why it's super amazing, but it can also be used to book destination work, which is super fun. So you could do like Iceland or anything else. You can do destination work with Google Ads, which is super cool, but it's just highly specific targeted ads, which just makes the conversion percentage just so much better, which is amazing. And lastly, it's a low cost for really, really high results. So what I do and what my students do is we run $10 a day ads and we get 1 to 2 inquiries every single day. And that even gets I've had up to like 10 inquiries a day with that, depending on the time of year and the season and how many people are, ready to book. So yeah, super affordable. That's literally like $300 a month for like insane amount of money. So super cool. And that's why I love Google Ads. But I do understand that a lot of photographers actually struggle running Google Ads. So why does this happen? This actually happened to me as well. But first I'll just kind of like go into why it happens. So it's not that they don't work for you. It's just you don't know how to use them. So many people say Google Ads just don't work for me. That's not true at all. It's unfortunate that people come to that conclusion because the reality is they don't know what they're doing. That's just what it is in simple terms. So they do actually work. It's just that most photographers don't know how to set them up properly. And the most important part is that they don't know how to diagnose the issues and don't know how to fix said issues. This is the biggest issue that I see, is people, they just run an ad and they hope for the best and it doesn't work. This is what I see all the time. It does not mean that it doesn't work. So how do you actually set up your ads for success? So when you're setting up a Google ad to then publish, there are some things you actually need to know first if you want them to work. So how you set them up with the correct targeting is very, very, very important. So you don't want to actually listen to what Google suggests at all. If you've ever started to set up a Google ad or you have in the past, Google will tell you to do a bunch of things. If you listen to what Google's telling you, I'm just going to tell you right now, you're going to be completely on the wrong course of direction that you need to be when it comes to running an ad for photography. It is very different than what Google suggests. So it's very important you don't just listen to Google. Next, this is where most people fail, and it's making sure the page you're sending people to is optimized correctly. This is literally the number one place that people struggle with their ads, is the page that they're sending them to. They don't realize how important it is for their ad success. So that is very important. And thirdly, like I said before, you need to know what to track and how ads work so that you can optimize your ad for best results. Most ads actually don't work right out of the gate. Like literally like 50% of ads, when you hit publish, they have a problem that you have to fix. And that's just because, it's not optimized correctly. And it typically is just your landing page. Usually people get the setup pretty close to right. And then they can kind of optimize the headers and descriptions. Okay. But it's the landing page that's just like every single time there's an issue, it's always the landing page. So yeah, usually when you hit publish on your ad, your landing page needs fixed, and Google will tell you if that is true or not, and you can actually diagnose it. But yeah, you can't just hit publish on the ad and expect it to work. For 50% of us, it's not going to work, which is just the reality of running a Google ad, but they do tell you how to fix it, and so do I. So it's super fun. So the difference between just publishing an ad versus understanding how to actually diagnose an ad. So when you publish an ad without knowing how to diagnose it, there's literally a 50% chance that your ad's not going to work, like I said before. But when you know how to diagnose it, that is when it makes the world of a difference. You can figure out what Google's not liking and you can change it for success, because so many people, they'll publish an ad, they'll be like, it's so expensive, I'm getting no results, I don't know what's happening. And you just have to go into the analytics. There's 3 things you have to check. Chances are it's your landing page, from experience, but you go in there, you see what the issue is, and then you go ahead and you fix it. Google literally tells you why your ad is underperforming, because they want you to spend money and have success on their platform. If you're having 0 success, you're not going to spend money, and Google doesn't want that. So Google literally wants to help you. You just need to learn how to let them help you, basically. So here are the top 3 things that determine your success with Google Ads that most people miss. So number 1, running your ads to a page that is about one niche. It's so important that the page you run your ads to is directed at one ideal client. No running ads to a homepage. This is the biggest mistake you could make. It has to be highly targeted to that one person you're advertising to. If it's not, your page is not going to convert, unfortunately. Secondly, proper setup. Setting up your ad determines the campaign's success in the long run. So if you set it up listening to Google suggestions, you're not going to see the results that you want. I can tell you that right now. What Google suggests is always wrong. I don't know why, but it literally always is. So proper setup is super important. So you know that once you have, it's like kind of your framework. So if you have that set up properly, then you know that that's proper, and you don't have to worry about it, and you can just worry about the other factors that are more commonly the issue. Secondly, understanding how to read the data. I know I keep preaching about this, but it's so important. Once you publish your ad, like I said, 50% of ads have some sort of issue that we have to fix, and it can be as small as a formatting issue on your website. So it can be literally so tiny, but chances are there is something. If you don't know how to spot and fix them, you're just going to end up wasting your money. And that's when we see really, really expensive ads, or just ads that are just not performing well at all. So from $0 to $152,000 in 60 days. So this is my Google Ads story. So basically my first ad was so bad, Google did not publish it at all. Like it had 0 impressions, 0 ad spend. It just wouldn't go because it was just that bad. So I went from there to $152,000 in my first 60 days after retrying ads again. So when I first tried Google Ads, when I did weddings, so I did weddings for 2 years, and then I decided, I want to go all in on elopements. So I did 2 years of weddings. I had no idea what I was doing with Google Ads, and I made $0. I just knew that people were finding success with it, so I just kind of winged it, set up an ad, hit publish, and yeah, nothing happened. I made $0, and I was convinced they didn't work. I was that person. I decided, Google Ads didn't work, even though I literally knew nothing about Google Ads. For some reason, I just blamed the platform. So love that for me. And the reason why this happened, looking back at it, it was my landing page. I was running ads to my homepage, which was a big no-no. And so Google hated my ad and didn't show it to anyone, which is kind of nice because I didn't have to pay for it, because it wouldn't have had any results anyways. So that's the other perk of Google. If your ad is super bad, they're not even going to push it for you. So then fast forward to 2024, I ran an ad to my landing page directed at my ideal client. And I also learned how to diagnose an ad and a little bit more knowledge of Google Ads in general and how they worked. And that's when I booked over $152,000 worth of elopements in my first 60 days of running that ad. So yeah, I literally went from I had no idea what I'm doing to this doesn't work and $0 to the most insane results I've ever seen. You can see it in the graph on the right hand side there, just kind of the results I had in January and February of that year. This is the year I transitioned into elopements, so I just kind of redid everything, and I was just like a whole new person. Decided to actually learn how to run an ad, and that showed in the results. So basically, I could have gave up the first time, and a lot of photographers unfortunately do. But if I did, I literally don't even want to think about that because this literally changed my life. And from here on out, I've just had nothing but success with Google Ads. And I still actually run that same ad that I posted in January of 2024. So that is kind of my Google Ads story. So if you've tried Google Ads and you're like, oh my gosh, they just don't work for me, they're so confusing, all that stuff, I've been there, and I found a different way. So yeah, that's my story there. So where was I before running Google Ads? So I was making like $20,000 a year with wedding photography. That wasn't wedding photography in itself. It's just that I had no idea what I was doing. When I transitioned to elopements, I also went through this whole like learning phase where I just like dove into everything I could learn about everything. So that wasn't blamed on the weddings. But yeah, so it was definitely a side hustle for me. $20,000 a year was nothing. I was working so hard 24/7, charging like $2,000 for a 12-hour wedding day. And basically I just dreamed of shooting elopements full time, making six figures. That was the big dream that I thought was so far off. And then I was getting like one inquiry every like 2 months or something, posting constantly on Instagram, I literally could not post consistently to save my life, and Facebook groups. That was my main source of inquiries and bookings, was posting in Facebook groups and just like competing against prices with other photographers. It was literally the worst. And then after Google Ads, I made over $328,000 my first year photographing elopements, went full time, hit six figures in less than 60 days, fully booked my calendar every year since with Dream Elopements. I get 1 to 2 inquiries per day, every day for the past 2 years. I rarely post on Instagram, like once or twice a month, maybe. And I've literally never worked less in my life. So as you can see, my life did a literal 180, which is absolutely insane. You can see here my 2024 bookings. Yeah, it was bonkers and it just completely changed my life. So Google Ads are the number one reason that I get to photograph elopements full time. It is literally the foundation of my business, the number one way my dream clients find me. I get the odd booking from Instagram here and there, but this is 100% the number one way that people find me and book me. Without them, I would literally still be posting on Instagram daily, trying to competing on prices with Facebook groups and running an inconsistent business and not going full time. So that is just the sad reality. Is if I was in your shoes not running Google Ads, this is where I would be right now. So if you're there, we can change that. So, are you actually ready to run ads? This is a really good question because I don't want you running Google Ads without being ready. So you need to have at least 3 shoots under your belt in your desired niche, whether you're going to want to go into a different niche, whatever it is. You have to have at least 3, so 3 weddings, 3 maternity shoots, whatever it is. You just need to have 3. You need to have your back end set up so you're ready for all the inquiries to come in. So this is your booking process, pricing guides, calls, contracts, invoices, stuff like that. You have to have that already done. Next is you need to be committed to spending $10 a day for at least a week. You can see results literally the next day, so it's not that hard to stay committed to that, and it's not a big number. So, but you just have to have, I guess, like $70 to $100 just ready to spend on ads. And you just need to be ready to see an influx of inquiries into your business. So you have to be prepared for that and having all your systems set up there to convert those inquiries into bookings, because there's no point in getting inquiries if you're not going to turn them into bookings. So that is a little checklist for you guys. So who are Google Ads for? So anyone with a service business. I've literally tested this method on people that weren't even in a photography business and it still works. So any service business, first of all, but any photography niche as well is totally fine. And this will work for you as well. So how time consuming are Google Ads? This is basically, so the first 2 weeks roughly of running a Google ad is the most time consuming part. You need to be checking on them maybe like once or twice a day, morning and evening, just to make sure everything is correct with the searches, because Google's still trying to figure out who to show your ads to, so you can kind of help it out a little bit. So I'll teach you guys how to do that. After that, like literally 1 time a month is totally good enough. I check mine like every 1 to 2 months roughly, even more sometimes. Like I barely checked mine all summer and it's been like 3 months. So you literally don't have to check it that much at all. It runs for you after those first like 2 weeks. Google figures out where to push your ads to, and it totally works on autopilot. So it's super sick. Are they easy to learn? Yes, you'll be surprised how simple they actually are to learn. It's not actually that complicated. Even when it comes to diagnosing an ad and the analyzing, Google is literally so clear about it. You'll be so surprised how easy it is. It literally tells you like, landing page, is it good? Basically. Super simple. My method breaks it down to not only like the necessities on how to set them up, what to track, and how to diagnose. So if you struggle with complex like technology, This is super simple. For reference, I have a really short attention span and a little bit, I don't even know, on the spectrum, I guess. And so when it comes to complicated things, I can get a little bit lost. So if you are kind of like that, struggle to finish things, this is super, super easy and you'll totally get through it so fast. So how much do you spend on Google Ads? My students are spending about $10 a day on Google Ads and getting 1 to 2 inquiries in return. You can scale up from there if you want to. So when I want more bookings, for example, I raise my budget. I've raised it to around $30 a day and I've gotten like 10 plus inquiries per day from that. So you literally only need to start at $10 a day to get 1 to 2 inquiries. This is where I start everyone. From there, you can scale up based on results. You just add more money to it and you'll get more results. So it's super, super simple. So I just want to kind of give you a little bit of an insight on the impact this is kind of making with other photographers who have gone through my Google Ads systems. So I have this photographer here who booked their first $7,500 elopement. They literally niched into elopements and then started running ads and literally figured it out as she went. She literally had inquiries coming in and she didn't have her back end fixed, but she's like, this is so good. She's like literally fixing her pricing guide as she's getting her dream inquiries rolling in. So yeah, super, super fun. I love that in her journey. She's getting 1 or 2 inquiries a day, which is super sick. And then we have another photographer here who is also booking, raise their prices, booking $6,000. They came from shooting 12-hour weddings for $2,000 before, similar to me, and getting a flood of inquiries, which is super, super cool. Literal 180. These 2 lives have changed, which is so, so cool, and I love to see it. Just some people getting amazing results here. 2 leads a day. She's also working on a pricing guide here. Inquiries coming in, helicopter elopement inquiry, so fun, 2 inquiries in the morning. Like, this is literally happening and it happens right away. So it is so, so, so cool to see this. And then, so what Google Ads has actually done for me, it's gave me my dream business. It allowed me to raise my prices to a minimum of $7,500 as of filming this video. It allowed me also to photograph in some of the most epic locations so far. So I'm talking like helicopter elopements in the Rockies. So fun. I just had 2 last week. Super good. Never gets old. I bought my dream car at 24. This was my first year as an elopement photographer, which was so fun. I have complete financial and time freedom, so I can literally do whatever I want. I work 25 days a year, super chill. And I just have the freedom to travel whenever I want, and I have my whole winter off, which is super sick. So it's literally changed my life, and I just hope for that for everyone else. So super fun. But for those who are not running Google Ads and are not convinced, here's what's happening every day that passes when you're not showing up on Google. So number 1, dream clients are searching for you right now. Like, literally as I speak, people are searching for you and your business, and they're booking your competition because you're not showing up. They're not finding you, they're finding your competition and they're booking them. And that's why you think the market is too saturated, but they're over here saying it's not, because they're showing up for their dream clients. Next, by being scared to spend money on your marketing, you're actually losing money by all the bookings you're missing out on. If we think back to my story, if I didn't run Google Ads, I would have been saving money on not running ads, but also making like 20 grand a year. Whereas now, I don't even know, what is that, like 20 times that? Like, I don't even know that math, quick math, I have no idea, but you know what I mean? Like, I literally brought in so much more money just by spending a little bit of money on marketing, and it's not an insane amount. It's super, super chill. Next, the photographers that are starting now are the ones that will actually be hitting 6 figures next year, which is super crazy to hear, but it's so true. Literally, if you start Google Ads right now, this is kind of like fall of 2025, you can literally have a 6-figure business by next year just from Google Ads alone. So it's absolutely insane. And then lastly, waiting equals just staying stuck in the posting and ghosting cycle. So if you don't change anything in your life, you don't start running ads, you're going to consistently never have consistent inquiries. inquiries. You're just going to constantly be struggling in this loop. I'm just going to tell you right now, you don't magically one day just get consistent inquiries from Instagram and organically. It just does not happen. You have to be active with your marketing. And if you're not, it's never going to happen. I always thought that too. There'll just come a day when, I'd get consistent inquiries by doing nothing, which was really stupid, but I totally get it. So yeah, just by waiting and staying stuck, you're never going to change your business. So that is what's happening every day. So this is why right now is actually the best time to start running ads, especially Google Ads. So because it's fall of 2025 when I'm filming this, I don't know when you're watching this, but 40% of engagement happens over the holidays. So there's going to be a spike in people ready to book. There's people engaged. They're super excited. So this means it's the best time to start figuring out Google Ads is right now. So you're so ready when that time happens. And if you're watching this after Christmas or after that time, there's still not a better time, because any time now is better than later, because you can start seeing results literally the next day. So now is always the best time. But if you're watching this in the fall, it's like even better right now. Next, like I said, you'll see results in literally 24 to 48 hours. And you can also see if your ad is broken in any way. It's within that time frame too, so you can go in and check that, fix it, and then start seeing the results right after that too. So you'll see results right away, no waiting. Your dream clients are searching for you as we speak. Like I said already, people are searching for you. They want to book you, but they cannot find you. This happens constantly. And lastly, your dream clients aren't waiting for you. They're just going to book your competitors because you're not there. They're going to book someone else. They're not going to wait till they find you exactly. They're going to book someone else because just how good you take your photos, there's a limit. People can't tell when a photo is extra amazing and special, so they're just going to book whoever they think they like, connect with, and they're going to go with that. Even though you might have been their dream person, they'll just book your competitor because you're not there. So it's as simple as that. So if you're trying to go from burnt out, broke, inconsistent bookings that leave you stressed out to time freedom, 6 figures, and consistent dream bookings, here's how we're going to make that happen. Super fun. I'm going to share with you guys now exactly how we're going to change your life and give you that 180 like you saw my students literally had in their business. Their businesses went 180 just because of this simple system. So this is my exact Google Ads system, and I'm giving it to you guys. I've used this to book over $500,000 worth of photography packages, elopement specific ones to be more specific. And this is everything. This is literally everything you need to know about running Google Ads, how to set them up, how to diagnose them, how to fix your issues. This is everything that you need to know. And it's absolutely insane. This is my biggest secret to hitting multiple 6 figures in your business. All that income that you saw that I made my first year was all possible because of Google Ads and this exact system. I literally am not gatekeeping anything. This is 100% exactly what I do still today. So if you want to know what I'm doing and want to replicate it yourself, you need to grab this. And I've also included 10 bonus resources to help kind of support you with that journey and the other parts of your process, like pricing guides, sales call stuff. So we can turn those inquiries into bookings. So if you are serious and you are actually ready to make a difference in your business, this is literally it. If you've been wondering, like, how do people get consistent inquiries? Like, I just want to stop posting on Instagram. This is like a nightmare. I just want to have bookings like right now. I want to see that in my inbox every day, all those inquiries. Then this is what you need to do. Hop in there. It's literally such a small investment for what it is. This is the only marketing you will literally ever need. You can always do other marketing too to support it, but this is all you need to do. This is all that I do. And yeah, it's absolutely insane. It works for any niche. So if you're in weddings, elopements, family photos, whatever it is, this will work for you. So yeah, you can grab that. It's going to be linked below. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. I'm just going to show you guys my face a little bit here quickly. And I'm more than happy to help you guys out if you're having any issues with your ads, but this will literally teach you everything that you need to know and how to fix them yourself. So you can literally self-diagnose and self-solve your own problems, which is so fun, especially when it comes to scaling. But yeah, this is This is my baby. I love this course so much. It's literally so straightforward and super to the point and super on the spectrum friendly. So if you're a little ADHD, autistic, whatever it is, I've had some really great reviews from people who are like, I've never been able to finish a course, but I can get through this. So it's so straightforward and laid out for you so simply. And yeah, people have found the most amazing success, and it makes me so happy. It brings me so much joy to see you guys all succeed. So yeah, if you're serious about changing the game in 2026 and just like creating that 6-figure business, you need to go grab it. It's just linked below. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. So thanks for watching this. I hope it gave you a little bit of an insight into Google Ads a little bit better, so you feel more confident and excited to start running them. I'm so passionate about them, and I love them so much. So I just can't wait for you guys to experience that, life-changing moment when you go from, one inquiry every 2 months to literally one a day, which is so cool. And yeah, I literally could talk about this forever. This makes me so happy. So go in there and grab it, and yeah, enjoy.